Good morning, Donna here, blind knitter. I'm in my dressing gown. Yep, it's Saturday morning. I just thought I'd start just doing my morning routine. And yeah, first thing I'm going to do is get rid of, I've got my container here which has got all my scraps in that are going in my compost, like egg scraps and tea bags. It was Friday night last night, so we had a couple of drinky poos, and I've got a bucket of water for the chooks. So, wait, bear with. Sorry, had my hands full. So now my hands are free. I'm just going to get the chook food out of the chook pellet container to feed the chooks. You're so lucky seeing me in my dressing gown. But it's a me made, and this channel is all about my life and my me mades and my creativity. So there we go. Now I'm going to feed the chooks. What I tend to do, I'm going to turn you around. So there, this is a naughty one, he goes up there. I throw food, a handful of food over, they all run to the food, and this is so that I don't trip over them. So throw another handful of food, and that's just so I don't trip over them, and then I put the food in the food container which they rush to there, and I also then top up their water, which isn't too bad because by golly it's rained here. I don't know if you've watched the news, but poor New Zealand, particularly up north, has had some terrible rain. The next thing I do is I empty my little bin that has our eggshells etc in it into the compost. So this here goes in here. Oh, I'm going to have to put you down. Emptied. So I thought I'd just quickly show you my pride and joy. My veggie garden is looking very well. I've got even little pumpkins growing there. I think you can see that one there. But my pride and joy, it's a bit slippery because it's wet, is the pumpkin around here. My potatoes are doing well, and this pumpkin here has somewhere here. Where are you? There you are. Look at that! Hey, isn't that beautiful? Lovely big pumpkin. And there's another one over there, another big one. There's 4 or 5 popping up along here as well. So the garden's doing really well at the moment. Yeah, and it's going to rain. It's pouring. Oh, we've got tomatoes coming there, so we better pick those. Got some leeks to eat. Yeah, it's raining, so we better get back inside. So see you in a minute. It is starting to really rain, but I just thought I'd show you my favourite view from our driveway. There's the side of our house there. Oh, no, there. And yeah, I just love that view. And we'll often sit there after work and have a drink. And that's one of Mr. Farmer's projects. He's making another seat. But you can see that the farmer over the road has tilled up the soil over there so that he can plant. I think that's what he's doing. I'm not sure. Beautiful, isn't it? Lovely dovely. Good way to start the day. Now I'm sitting down with my cup of Kenya Bold because I like a good strong tea, and I like a mug too. And this is my second mug this morning. I was up at 5:30 and I watched a podcast which I'll talk about today and had a cup of tea in bed, and so that's my second cup of tea. The podcast I was watching, which I really do recommend, it is called Pro Home Cook, and his name's Mike, and it's excellent. He's a home chef basically, and does all sorts of things. He's just changed his channel's name to Life with Mickey D or Mike D. Mike G. But if you go Pro Home Cook, you'll find him. He's very good. So I watched that, and now what I tend to do is plan my day and think, what am I going to do ahead? What do I need to plan? It's a home day today, so it's miserable weather. Devastating stuff happening in New Zealand up north, some real tragedies going on, and my thoughts and heartfelt feelings go out to family and whānau up there and friends up there. It's just tragic. So I am going to sit down and plan my day. Tomorrow is Sunday and I usually prep my veg. Well, I'm going to do all my veggie prep today because I've got family coming out for lunch tomorrow, which will be really nice. Looking forward to that. We're going to have homemade hamburgers with our own salads and our own venison meat patties. So, and then our own eggs. So McDonald's. I'm going to call it McDonald's. So homemade hamburgers. That'll be nice. Looking forward to that with seeing the grandkids, etc. And my daughter. And so I will do some veggie prep today, and I'll bring you to that later on. I might even get dressed. It might be quite nice to get dressed. I do love my snuggly dressing gown. It's probably one of the best things I've ever made. It's so long. It goes right down, and yeah, it's just a real snuggle up one. It's just cuddly. I do love it. It's a comfort factor. So I'm going to prep my veg. I want to talk today more on planning for the year. I'm not one for making New Year's resolutions, but I do like to plan and have goals. I always have all my life, and there's always a nice time to start the year with new fresh goals. So I'll do that in this podcast as well. So I hope you are going to enjoy that and get your pen ready, because you might want to write a few tips and ideas down on how to create some fun goals for 2026. See you soon. I'm going to have a shower and get dressed after my cup of tea. Well, it's me again. I've had a shower several times since my dressing gown because it's a week later. In fact, it's more than a week later. That was a Saturday and it is Monday today. So I'm sitting in my office, if you can see my office here, and I have on my dress that I made. It's 100% cotton quilting fabric. It's a Emporium pattern, and Pattern Emporium, and I've forgotten the name of the pattern, but it's just a lovely 3-tiered gathered dress, and I've done this pattern material, then this, and then again another tier in that. Very comfortable, just a plain 3/4 sleeve, and yeah, I like it a lot. It's a nice comfortable pattern. So welcome again. It's a week later, so I'll just try and get myself back into a flow. What I wanted to talk about is, as I said previously, I don't make New Year's resolutions, but I've always been a goal setter. So excuse me. So I have set some goals. What I've done is I've done a make 9. I'm doing at the moment a make 9 for my sewing crafts, etc. And all I've done is 9 squares and just drawn some flowers on it. You don't have to do anything flash. And so my make 9, some of the things I want to put on there this year for my crafts and sewing. I think I've said before, I've got some eye challenges. I've got some surgeries coming up, so I'm struggling with knitting at the moment. And I'm hoping to get back into that once I have these surgeries. So that's certainly one of my big goals. I'd like to knit myself a vest. Quite like a vest to be able to wear over dresses and things like this. I see a lot of people wear them and they have them sort of waist length, and just a simple plain vest. And I think I like that idea over a dress. So I would like to knit myself a vest. So that's going to be on my make 9. What else do I want on my make 9s? I've got a couple of dresses already cut out, so it's going to be the year of the dress, I think, by the sounds of it. And I have these 2 pair of jeggings that I wear in the garden in the weekends, and they both started getting holes in them. They're quite a few years old now. I didn't make them, they're bored. So I want to make myself a couple of pair of jegging type, track pant type things that I can wear in the weekends, so I can garden and just, tidy enough that you can, if somebody turns up for a coffee, you're not going to feel like you have to run and change, but strong and robust enough to be able to get in the garden and shovel some chook poo, etc. So that's definitely going to be on my Make 9. I can't think of other things. I really would, rather than make things, I'd quite like to be a bit more consistent with my sewing. I've got everything all set up, and what I find is on a Sunday night I go, gosh, I haven't even stepped into my sewing room. So it's motivate myself to get in there, because once I'm in there, I spend a couple of hours in there and it's really productive. It's just the actual getting into it. So yeah, I'm going to finish my Make 9s. I'll keep thinking about, I'd like to be more making things that I really will use and wear, which I'm pretty good at anyway, but yeah, just keep that in my goal. It's like last year I really knew I needed shorty pajamas, and I got those made, and I knew I needed a couple of, or 3 or 4 pair of sort of plain basic t-shirts, and I got those done. So one of the things I really would like this year, again, and thinking, the same sort of thing, is a sweatshirt that I can throw on in the weekend that's tidy and relaxed. So yeah, there's my Make 9s. Now for life, not just particularly for sewing, so Make 9s you will have heard of in lots of sewing and knitting podcasts, and they really do keep you focused. I looked back on my last year's one, and I think out of the night, I haven't got it on me, so I can't read it to you, but I'll find it one day. It's tucked in my office, sewing room at home, and I'm at work, as I said. I think I got 70% done, so I'm really happy with that. It's a goal, and life happens while you have goals, so that's pretty good. But for life, this is where you might want your pen, because setting life goals is really interesting. There's what we call the 8 areas of human existence, and they're the areas that make up the whole pie of who you are. So if you had a pie and you divided it into 8, those areas are who you are as a whole complete person. And of course, what we want is some balance within those 8 areas. We want some sort of, we don't want a huge big chunk of one piece of pie and a little wee tiny slither of another. And it's when you sort of look at the beginning of the year, which is what I tend to do, although I do try and keep the 8 areas in my mind as much as possible, it's a really good idea to sort of look at those 8 areas and say, what are the areas that I really could do with some change in? What are the areas that are feeling unbalanced? And so the 8 areas are, the first one is intimacy. Now that's your immediate partner, your one-to-one partner. The second one is family, then it's friends, then it is work, then it is hobbies, then it is spiritual. Now that's not religion, that's your wider, or your sense of being, your and who you take care of you. And then there is knowledge, your brain. Are you, keeping your brain ticking over and knowledge, ticking over well? Physical, how do you take care of your physical well-being, your sleeping, eating, exercise, etc.? How many is that? That's 8. One more. Intimacy, friends, family, work, spiritual, physical, knowledge, hobbies. What hobbies do you do? What do you do to blow your hair back? What are the things that you enjoy? So those 8 areas are what make you the whole pie, and you really want some balance in those. So when you want to set goals, firstly you want to know what you value in those areas. So what I always do with clients is I draw a circle and I divide it in 8, and I write the 8 areas around it, and I say, right, in each of those segments I want you to write 2 or 3 things you value about that area. So for example, what do you value about having an intimate relationship? What are the things you value about it? Is it you value communication, or do you value having a good laugh, or do you value companionship, or what do you value in that? For work, what do you value in work? Is it financial? Is it just you just want money, or is it you like to really hard graft, or is it you like to help people and do a service? What do you value there? hobbies. What is it you value about your hobbies? Is it that they're good for your mental well-being, or that they keep your fingers moving, or they keep you active? Or so really think about what you value in each of those 8 areas. And what that will do is help you make goals, because you can't make a goal if you don't know what you value. So it's a bit like, I suppose one of the things for me is I'm not really fiscally driven. I'm not motivated by money. I'm motivated by service to others and providing time and being here for people. That's kind of my motivation, but my motivation isn't money. So if I set a goal and it was, I'm going to make, or I'm going to save $1,000, for me that's, it's not a goal I'm going to achieve, because I'm not fiscally driven. But if I said, I'd really like to spend a lovely holiday with a friend of mine, then I will do it. So if I plan my goal around that, you're more likely to carry it on. So it is very much around, if you set your goals to what you value in your relationship, in your work, in your hobbies, and your knowledge. What do you value about stimulating your brain? Do you value gaining historical knowledge, or do you value learning something new? Or so if you want to value learning something new, then your goal might be to, I heard on the radio this morning that there's a new app that is purely a learning app. I can't remember what it was called, but I'm sure it'll be everywhere soon. It's purely full of podcasts and things on learning. So what firstly your values, whipping paper everywhere, and then create your goals from those values, and create a goal in each of the 8 areas. One goal is good. If you want more, then that's okay, but don't, keep it simple. The KISS theory, keep it simple, silly. So create goals. And then once you've created a goal, make sure it's smart. Make sure it's a really smart goal. Now, a lot of people have heard of SMART goals, but SMART goals is a way of ensuring that your goal will be something you'll follow through with. So SMART is an acronym for SMART. So specific. Be specific about what it is that you want to do. So I would like to sew a jean jacket. That's very specific. Measurable. Is it measurable? Well, yes, at the end of it I will have a jean jacket, so I can measure that. Is it achievable? Yes, it's achievable. Challenge with eyesight, but yes, I can sew a jean jacket. Is it realistic? Now, realistic for me is, is it realistic with my eyesight? So I have to look at that and consider that. And so realistic is one that I might sort of struggle on. It's like, is it realistic? I don't know. I'd have to really think about that. And then T for smart, time. Put a time frame on it. Otherwise, your goal will still be there 15 years' time. Put a time frame on it. I could probably make one. I'd like to make one for the midwinter. So when I've got a nice jacket to wear in the winter. So there's a time frame. So smart. That's my goal, is to make a denim jacket that I can pretty much be able to do because I have the ability to do it. Is it realistic with my eyesight challenges? Yeah, I might have to work on that one. And time frame, I'd like to do it midwinter. So therefore, you really have something to hold on to and to work with. So do that with all of your goals. So to smart them, make sure they're smart goals. So they're specific, they're measured, they're achievable, they're realistic, and they've got a time frame on them. One of the things that we do in one of the workshops that my daughter and I used to take or took was when we talked about goals, is we would say, do the values, create the goal, then we'd ensure that they were smart. And then we would say, what percentage do you think your confidence level is in achieving it? And they would go, 70, 80%. Good, that's what we want. But if they would say 50, 60%, then you say, well, what is it that you need to do to bring that up? Because you really want over 70%. 70% is a good percentage for feeling confident about your goal. But if you're not 70% confident, what do you need to do to bring it up? So, I mean, for me, the realistic one with my eyesight is, if there's a little bit of unconfidence here, and it's probably less than 70%. What do I need to do? Well, I'm actually doing it. I'm working with my ophthalmologist, and I'm working towards getting surgery, and so I am working towards that, and I'm trying to make sure I've got good lighting, and so there's lots of things that I'm doing to try and bring that up to the 70%. So there we go. So yeah, New Year's resolutions. I think. And I could be stand corrected on this, that they've done some research and most New Year's resolutions have gone by the 1st of February. You create them on the 1st of January, and by the 1st of February you're not doing them. But I've been setting goals for myself for many, many years. The Make 9 is new. I have just started the Make 9 for my sewing goals, and I quite like that. It has kept me on task. But the 8 areas of human existence is something that I've been doing for years. I have a journal, and where is my journal? It is with me somewhere. So I've been a journaler all my life, and I've talked about journaling a lot through my podcasts. I write the 8 areas of human existence at the front, in the front of page of my journal. So I have the 8 areas written down there. So when I journal, I make sure that I try to consider all of those 8 areas, so that I'm looking at, what the thing, when I'm journaling, I'm ensuring that I'm getting a whole picture of me, a whole picture of what's going on, and looking at a whole realistic me. Yeah, so that's my suggestions, and that's certainly what I've been doing personally for many, many years, and what I teach at work. So I take workshops called Living Life in Fullness Every Day, LLIFE. So when I do life workshops, we do that. We start with our values. What do we value? Then we set goals. Then we make sure they're smart. And then we do a percentage rating on them, and what is it that we need to and create some steps towards your goals. So I hope that helps. I hope, the beginning of the year, I hope that can help you sort of focus yourself a little bit. Don't put pressure on yourself. One of my Make 9 goals for last year, I see, was KISS, KISS. Keep it simple. Stupid. Keep it simple, silly. So don't, keep it simple. Just be realistic and make sure that you make smart goals. Anyway, I hope that's been great for you. I hope you enjoyed looking at my garden. That was, as I say, a week ago. My pumpkins have doubled in size since then. Yesterday I started prepping veggies and sorting through my produce that came out of my garden about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I finished about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So just doing things like making beetroot salad and prepping salads for the week, and prepping veggies for the week, and doing my veg for the tea, and I did double. So I prepped for someone else as well, and gave some to my loved ones as well, which made me feel really nice. When I prepped all my veggies, I just did it double, and that felt nice. That giving something, being altruistic. It's that's one of the, in my life workshop, that's one of the sections, is gratitude and altruism. It's really important to be able to do that, because it's good for the soul. That's part of my spiritual part of my 8 areas of human existence, is being able to do things for people like that. It's good for the soul. Anyway, have a great week, or as some people say, be a great week. Take control and be a great week. And I'll see you in my next podcast. Bye for now.